Right now, your consumer device is valued at $1,000. This polished carbon lattice, $10,000. Their perceived worth is based on a single metric, the challenge of their material acquisition. But what if that metric was voided? What if the most complex system, the rarest pharmaceutical, or the finest synthesized meal could be executed instantaneously from a decentralized terminal for the sole cost of power consumption? And here's the most terrifying variable of all. If you could replicate everything, what would anything retain as market value? This is the molecular assembly device. It doesn't modify the economy. It terminates all global commerce. For decades, we thought additive printing was the final stage, layer by layer, polymerizing mass. It was merely the precursor. The replicator initiates atomic fabrication. It doesn't accumulate matter. It executes a fundamental molecular rearrangement. Every physical object, from a desk to the human biomass, is coded by the same elements: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. A diamond is just carbon precisely arrayed. A steak is a complex protein chain. A human organ, decoded cellular data. The true breakthrough wasn't the material, it was the fidelity of the information. The capacity to scan an object, capture its quantum-level data schematic, and then, using universal feedstock, reconstruct it with atomic precision. We used to trade resources. Now we trade data signatures. The directive isn't if we deploy it. The directive is what structural foundations will be left when we do. When the replicator goes live, the global transition phase completes in the span of a single afternoon. Resource deprivation, a memory. Level 1 food synthesis, perfect nutrition on demand. Disease, organogenesis by print. Cures synthesized instantly. Housing, a matter of acquiring universal feedstock and running the blueprint. The constraint of scarcity is permanently voided. This is the Kardashev Zero transition, a world where human value shifts to intellectual amplification and cosmic exploration, not the struggle for energy and survival. We are finally emancipated. We are finally entering the utopian simulation. But utopian models inevitably reveal the structural foundations they obliterate. Because the moment a perfect synthesis can be executed for free, the original loses all intrinsic market value. Consider this: the diamond market is terminated overnight. All legacy manufacturing infrastructure, factories, logistics, manual labor, is instantly rendered obsolete. Patents, copyrights, and intellectual property become meaningless digital detritus. Why procure a product when you can download the schematic? The stock market doesn't just crash, it becomes a historical footnote. What financial viability can a company retain if its entire product line is rendered for zero cost? But the termination of value is not the problem. It is merely the beginning. We solved the problem of scarcity only to unleash the problem of absolute, ungoverned availability. If you can replicate any device, you can replicate every device. The classified schematics of a nuclear-grade component, a flawless security bypass key for any vault, a synthesized bioweapon, printed remotely, untraceable and instantaneous. The Replicator hands godlike access to every single agent on Earth. It makes the ultimate weapon universally accessible. It terminates the concept of a secret. We are often told the technology for the Replicator is still constrained by energy or parameter resolution. But, potentially, that is a false conclusion. Perhaps the greatest engineering marvel of our time has already been fully synthesized, and perhaps it remains sequestered, not because we cannot build it, but because we, as a species, simply cannot be trusted with its deployment.